Hey, what's going on? So I kicked this around whether I was going to do this or not. Anyways, I had a question, and a guy asked me kind of what motivational, or not motivational, what business books that I read, or am I reading, or something like that. And I've read a lot over the years, and that's kind of how I got into being an entrepreneur, is by the books I read and stuff like that. And what I kicked around was whether I should do the video. I was just in my basement looking for um, this really cool book that I don't even know what the name of it was, but it had a really cool example. So, to answer your question, the business books that I read range anywhere from like motivational to um, maybe even like well, I read spiritual books, but I guess it would be like more of like a spiritual influence books. I don't even know what the category would be. Then I read books like uh, just like how to make money books, and then specific books like on marketing and stuff like that, and probably other stuff that I can't think of. Let's say you wanted uh, so to highlight a book in those categories. One of my favorite books is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It's a great book. Read it multiple times. The Millionaire Next Door. Love that book. Read it multiple times. Another book that's really good that you guys have probably never heard of is called Thinking for a Change. It's by John Maxwell. That's a Christian book, or it's a Christian author. It doesn't really have anything to do with Christianity. Um, let's see here. Other books that are really good. The list goes on. I mean, I could literally go on, but those are some of my really good, or some books I really like. Um, what I wanted to do was tell you, uh, give you an example of pricing your lawn care service, and how I price my stuff and how you should be pricing your stuff. And I just think it's so fun charging a lot of money to do something that's so easy to do. So I would encourage you to do the same. And I always get well, let me just give you the example here. So it has to do with money, and how you deal with low ballers, and how you get more money for your services, making yourself more valuable. Basically, getting the most profit out of your services as possible. And it's kind of like a psychology thing. I guess I've talked about this a little bit before because it's such a huge issue about how much you charge, but I haven't given this example before. So it's a book, and it's right at the beginning of the book, and I just can't figure out what book it is. And I moved into this house that I live in a couple years ago, and I have a lot of my books that was supposed to go in my library when I moved into my house that are still packed away, and they're upstairs in the attic. So I can't find the book that this came out of. But basically, sorry for babbling on and on here. What it is there's this. The scene is in Arizona, or the setting's in Arizona. It's a store owner that sells like knickknacks and stuff, like when people, when you go traveling and you buy something to remember where you're at. And I think it was some kind of jewelry, and it was just like, I would imagine kind of like some cheap chintzy jewelry, and they were having problems selling the last of it, and the store owner was going out of town or something like that, and he tells the manager, just get rid of this crap. It's taking up space in my showroom, and I need to sell some more stuff. So mark it down 75%, and it was already, I don't know what it was, if it was 75% or not, but it was already marked down heavily, and it wasn't moving. So he just said, let's just get this sold. and sell it for the least amount possible. What ended up happening was when he went out of town, the manager thought he said mark the price up 75%. So they marked it up 75% and then ended up selling they sold out by the time the guy got back. And basically they found out that the reason that it sold was the people that were coming to this store for memorable or to remember something, they didn't want something cheap, and they might have not been able to afford something super expensive, like $500 and more, or thousands of dollars, but they could afford what they wanted to buy the best money could buy for them. So maybe this was like a trinket that was like $30, and then they raised it. What would 50% would be? Well, let's just say that it was $30. They raised it up, and now it's $100. Well, now they're perceiving it as something that is of value, and that's not just something that you would throw away when you get home, or if you lose it, it doesn't matter. And then that's what they're looking for, was kind of that price range, but not only the price range, but just saying, this is something, I don't want to buy garbage, I want to buy something of value, and that's what I'm doing. So, I think that's a pretty cool little story. The mindset, the psychology behind, why people are buying stuff is very interesting to me. I think it's cool. So, that's what I'm sharing with you. How do you deal with lowballers? Specifically in my area, I talk to people. I network with lawn care owners and stuff like that all the time. I talk with people. And for the size of the company that I run, there's a lot of people that charge a lot less than what I do. And there's a lot of people that charge the same or a little more than what I charge. And from the get-go, when we started out, I didn't want to get my foot in the door and charge a lower price. I wanted to charge how much money I would normally charge, that way, because then I had the end in sight before I started, which I'm not at the end, but I'm just saying that I knew that I wanted to have people, I wanted to work myself out of a job and have people, that I could pay to go out and do the work and still get paid money where I could be able to afford to do that. And that's happened. But if I would have charged, $10 less than what I'm charging now, then I couldn't do that. And I'd be upset, and I'd be frustrated, I'd be still doing the same crap that I thought was fun when I first started, which, it's not too exciting to me anymore to do that. So that's one thing. But there's a I don't even know if it's a company or what kind of a joke it is, but they do aerating, and they charge $40. And they're charging $40 when normally people will charge, I don't know, $65, $70, and I charge $85. Okay, so, and I'm talking about $85. This guy that's doing it for $40, he's making $40 an hour. It takes most yards you can do in 40 minutes, but with loading and unloading and all that crap, it's about an hour. So, I mean, he's making $40 an hour, but the question would be, how can I sell someone the same exact service for $85 an hour? Sometimes if I'm busy, maybe $95 to $100 an hour. If there's a hill that I don't like, I'm going to charge more for that. How am I getting that much more when someone's charging $40? Well, is it because the person that I'm attracting and I'm talking to and is buying from me is thinking in their head, what am I getting for $40? I actually want this to be good. I don't want them to show up and do half my yard. They're going to do half my yard, then it's going to be, I'm going to have to call them, I'm going to have to complain, then they're not going to want to come back out. Then they're going to take me to small cleans, I'm going to have to give them the $40. Then they're going to hit my sprinkler head, they don't know how to fix it, they can't, then I'm going to have to pay $80 to do that. Or what if something really bad happens? They don't have insurance, they get hurt on my property, they're going to sue me. The guy drives a minivan around. How serious is this guy, right? Or they go with me, someone that they perceive as an expert that knows how to do this stuff, and they're willing to pay extra money for it because they've said, "Oh, I've bought something cheap before. I'm not going to do that again." Right? And that's how. I'm not going to tell you how to sell your services, but that's how you have to come across. I'm not going to tell you how to sell your services in this video, but that's how you come across as the person that you're not the same. You're not in comparison with the guy that's literally 50% cheaper than you. And you don't want to be that guy. Alright, so hopefully that was helpful, and ask some more questions. Alright, bye.